live. Welcome, everybody.
Hello, hello.
It looks like our technical issues did not follow us, so it's all good. All right, so we are going to be completing this particular adventure, which is titled
Something about
Time.
You don't even know the title.
Well, I did know it. Time Becomes a Narrow Door.
Or wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
It's a title that doesn't really make sense.
I think it's from one of Muad'Dib's sayings with regards to his prescience.
Interesting. Then that means it's a lot more relevant than I thought.
Yeah, it's one of those that it's like the more he looks at the future, the more you're trapped to it. So are trapped in following that future.
Well, it's certainly relevant since Renshu seems to be somewhat prescient.
Nah, he just thinks he is.
All right. Before we begin, is there any bookkeeping that we need to do? Is anyone spending any points? Doing anything special?
Yeah, I did spend my 2 points to improve intimidate to 11.
Yep, that's fine. You've certainly used that enough.
Yeah.
Is anyone else spending any points?
No.
I'd like to up Detect Lies, if I may.
No.
I detect that as a lie.
I seem to recall you've used it a fair bit, so that's fine. It's either you or someone else that's been detecting lies.
Not me.
To be fair, you're using Detect Lies every time somebody talks to you.
Just some better at it than others.
Not me.
Actually, it's my understanding that the lie detection techniques are actually not really all that realistic. Like even people who are trained in it still have basically a 50-50 chance of picking it up. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, if it was like 100% or very reliable, I'm sure it'd be used in courts a lot more.
I think that's a lie.
Or is it? Alright, so if there's no more points that are being spent, any other bookkeeping?
Nope. Get on with it.
For the audience benefit, we are down one player today. He was playing
slacker.
He was playing the character Tycho Kane. So Tycho will be in the background in standby mode.
Is that his name? I thought it was Slacker.
I thought it was Garrot.
He'll be standing in the background, stroking his garrote ring, waiting for an opportunity.
Well, apparently he said he's going to be watching the stream, so
That's why I'm constantly calling him a slacker.
we should do things to his character. It'll teach him to be a slacker.
Terrible, horrible things.
What if he gets garroted?
That would be hilarious.
Gives up on life and garrots himself.
I'm not sure how that works, but okay.
He would just garrot on out of here.
Stop it.
Hehehe.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
All right, so where we left off, you guys had met Renshu, and he had told you that he is not going to go.
And Atticus shoots him with a trank gun. The end.
I don't have a trank gun. I don't think I
Yeah.
have a trank gun.
I know we brought tranks with us, but I don't know what delivery system we brought.
Probably needlers.
Well, your Mauler pistols would be used for tranks. Okay. So, Renshu will invite you guys to join him as guests in a little bit of a celebration to welcome.
Wow. He's celebrating the fact that I ganked his buddy?
Well, he's a little bit upset about that, but it was destiny. That's how it was meant to happen.
Awfully convenient.
So he will invite you to a celebration, welcoming him home from his spiritual quest in the desert. The celebration is to be held after the sun sets, which will be later this evening. I don't know if you guys have anything that you wish to do prior to this. Maybe you want to gank him before the party.
I guess that depends
No,
on whether or
no.
not there's an opportunity.
So, as he leaves, he turns to his followers and says, "These people are my friends. Treat them as such." And then he will turn and walk away.
Well, at least we've already established ourselves as being very useful to them.
And terrifying if you give us trouble.
And possibly terrifying. Actually, what are they doing with Bronca?
The guy that got
Barca.
knifed?
Yeah.
Barker, yeah. His body is being collected and is being taken away. He will be put into a body bag, as is the Fremen tradition. Not that you necessarily know that he's Fremen.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Even though Renshu, didn't seem like overly upset, he obviously has drank the Kool-Aid, or his own Kool-Aid, and he fully believes that the universe is set what happens was meant to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. So he's not overly, or doesn't appear to be overly or outwardly upset that Barker's dead, but there are some of the other followers that are obviously mourning his passing. So, is there anything that you guys wish to do?
No, not specifically.
Not for me.
All right, well then the day will pass and you will find yourself at Renshu's residence, and you'll see that there are a bunch of other followers that come and go from the house. So while this is not like a formal affair, it seems fairly casual. You know, people go in, there's food that's set out, so people will get food, they'll eat, they'll mingle, and then they'll sort of leave. It's almost like they take it in turns to, you know, partake in this celebration. Renshu is there, and he seems to be talking to a lot of people. You catch glimpses of his conversations, and from time to time you will hear him sort of preach his gospel. You guys are invited to sit at a table. Do all of you indeed sit at the table?
No, I'm going to be standing behind.
I'll be sitting.
I'm good. Guess Tycho's going to be lurking in a dark corner.
He'll be in a corner, swaying back and forth in AFK mode.
No, have you guys seen the second Suicide Squad movie?
Not as of yet, no.
Still haven't.
I don't think so.
Okay, because I was totally thinking it's going to be one of those where we're in here waiting, and then we step outside. He's garroted all of the cultists, and they're all dead on the floor out there, and saying, "All right, let's go."
Actually, he found one he wanted to keep.
All right, so Atticus, you don't sit at the table, you just hover around.
Correct.
All right, so you're sitting at the table, you're, eating the food. It's like, bowls of food that are set out so you can help yourself. And then eventually Renshu has a ceremonial clay bowl brought to him. The liquid inside this bowl steams, even in this desert heat that you're currently in. Renshu will actually give me a perception roll, those that are at the table. All right. You guys will successfully identify the odor or the aroma of whatever this is in the bowl as being spiced coffee.
Spice coffee. It wakes you up inside and out.
Renshu will raise the bowl to the players and he'll say, to bind our newfound friendship. He then offers a short blessing. He'll take a drink and then pass it on to the person next to him. And that person will take a little bit of a drink and pass it on. And it eventually gets to... I shall roll. Odds, it's going to be Valtteri. So, Valtteri, this bowl, ceremonial bowl of spiced coffee comes to you.
Well, that was convenient because if it had gone to Townsend, I would have had to have taken it from him and drunk it first. Not that anybody else over here is falling over
Yet,
yet.
could be a suicide cult.
I am going to take a good long whiff and see if I identify anything in it that shouldn't be there, but I presume that's not going to happen.
You're welcome to make a poisons roll if you have poisons.
I don't actually, and now that you say that, I probably really should.
You can roll default.
I'm going to put that on the list.
I think poisons will be a Q -6.
No, I didn't open any of my stupid books. It's going to be IQ -5 or 6 or something like that. So we'll just roll the thing and see what happens.
In this
Do the
case-
thing.
In this case, it would be a perception. So is your perception higher?
Oh, yeah, 2 up.
All right. So regardless of what the default is, that would be a success. You smell the spiced coffee, and you do not smell anything that gives you cause for concern.
Other than it being, spiced coffee and, our Lord not being a freaking junkie.
I guess the aroma would give you, it's sort of, when you sniff it, the aroma it sort of opens your sinuses, maybe burns the throat a little bit, but it is a pleasant tingling sensation.
Now, given that we know this is spice coffee, what do we know about it? What should we be expecting here?
Depending on the strength, it's not uncommon to get. All right, IQ -6. Yeah, it's not uncommon to have hallucinations and stuff like that. Hanson, given your current addiction, you will have to roll to not drink it if that's what you want to do.
He's
yeah.
got it under control. He can quit at any time.
It
All right.
should give you a nice buzz.
I will drink the Kool-Aid.
Okay, so you will take a sip of the coffee and then pass it to Hanson. The coffee is pleasant. It's almost like a really smooth whiskey. So there's a little bit of a burn to it, but it's a pleasant, soothing sort of burn.
Yeah, I'll hold on to it and let it settle in. Decide there's nothing funny going on before I pass it on, but I will pass it on.
Right, so Tansen,
Yes.
are you going to drink, or are you going to dishonor them?
Oh no, I will indulge in my addiction and drink it.
All right, you'll drink in similar pleasant burn as you drink the spiced coffee, and you just feel things activate in your brain. Pleasant sensations that you find you're starting to crave more and more. Then you pass the bowl on to the next person, and eventually it goes around the table, and the festivities continue. It doesn't take long before you start having weird sensations where you're sort of weaving in and out of lucidity, and you're seeing strange images and stuff like that. Let's have who's the more potentially prescient character? Who has some traits that are somewhat prescient?
Probably Valtteri.
Did you see the
You've got-
size of that chicken, Valtteri?
So you have intuition.
They can't hurt us. We're in the spirit world.
So while you're at the table, you're looking at a bowl of vegetables, and that as you sort of stare at it a little bit longer, the vegetables it takes on the appearance, like looking at clouds. Like you'll see shapes in the clouds. The bowl starts to form shapes more and more, and then you're seeing what looks to be the city of Arakeen in this bowl of vegetables, the shapes, depicting these vegetables. And then you look, and then you start to see explosions momentarily, and then it just sort of flashes out of out of this sort of hallucination, and you're looking at again a bowl of vegetables.
Valtteri is going to go into a meditative trance, and he is going to start speaking what he sees.
All right, give me a IQ roll. Or actually, do you have meditation?
Auto hypnosis, maybe?
Well, I have both.
Well, roll.
I don't think I have time for. I can't remember how long that takes, but whatever. That's about right. Luck. That's better. Once again, beginning of the session.
Just in case you need to get lucky later.
Yeah, I've got it on my notes.
All right, so you see Arakeen burning, and you see an Atreides flag on a pole burn until it falls off the pole and lands on the ground. And as it's sort of burning, you swear that you can see it's like the flag is wounded from an invisible attack, and it begins to bleed and just bleeds out onto the street while it's burning.
Mumbles something about desert power.
And you will also see there's an image of Fremen riding sandworms.
No, we didn't see that.
You've never seen that before. And these sandworms seem to be in the middle of Arakeen. Success by 4.
Yeah,
Are
basically
you going to totally? Are you going
the
to twist
meditation part of
what you're
this is-
seeing as well?
twisted? Not
Yeah.
necessarily.
So to force dude to go home.
That kind of depends. So the meditation part of this is just me trying to keep my wits as I observe dispassionately what I'm seeing. But my thinking here is that by speaking it out loud, what I'm seeing, someone can gauge Renshu's reactions to it, and then afterward, after it's over, I can ask him, "Is this what you saw?"
You have one sort of final vision. You see the kangaroo mouse hopping across the desert, and you can see faceless masses, silhouettes on the desert sands, all shouting, "Mahdi, Mahdi." And then the vision, as much as you try and hold on to it, it begins to fade, and you find yourself, at the table. There's people looking around. You see Renshu is nodding, and there are other, other people looking on, in stunned silence.
So, giving it a minute, Valtteri will look at Renshu and ask him, "This is what you saw?"
He will nod and he'll say, "I have seen things to that effect, yes." And one of the other followers will say, "It is the prophecy. You are the prophesied Mahdi." And you'll hear, at the mention of that, there'll be the odd Mahdi, 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 Mahdi mentioned amongst the followers.
But if I have seen it, am I not also the Mahdi?
Oh no! Logic trap.
Dun dun dun.
Cannot compute. So what exactly did you want to gauge from Renshu? Is there any particular roles that you wanted to do?
Oh, suppose I could do a body language thing. Would seem appropriate. I'm looking to see what is he reacting in horror? Is he reacting in satisfaction? Yada yada.
I like to detect lies on him just to see if that's really is what he saw. You know, he mentioned he saw something to that effect, but it could have been him just, oh yeah, no, that's totally what I saw. Yep. When he really saw puppies dancing in the
Roll
desert or
your
something.
detect lies in the box, please.
No, Tonson
Holy
has
crap,
body.
you've got a good skill.
Mhm.
Tonson has body language, so if you make a body language roll before you make that one, you can get +3 to detect lies.
Oh, I did not know, but I already rolled. Have to keep that in mind though.
Well, you did roll in the box, so you can roll body language as well.
Okay. I'll take it.
On a failed body language, what does that do to your detect lies? No, I guess no bonus, and it would be a penalty if you critically
I
failed.
presume it would be no bonus, but now that you mention it, I'll find that.
Not that it's relevant here. Okay, you do not
Probably not.
detect any sort of lies from Renshu.
Okay.
He's either believes what he's saying, or very good at lying, or you suck at detecting it.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't actually notice that before.
Interesting. Future.
But that's not the one I was looking for. Not that you're waiting on
Or
me.
Atticus, are you mingling at all?
No,
Or do you just stand there and...
he's a bodyguard.
Alright, so some of the followers will attempt to interact with you, but it becomes quickly apparent that you're not wanting any sort of conversation or anything like that. So they will eventually leave you alone. Alright, Hanson. Likewise, the spiced coffee has an effect on you, except you get to tell us what wonderful hallucination you see.
Oh boy, spice vision.
It can be anything. It doesn't need to relate to the canon or anything like that at all.
He'll see. Oh, what's his name?
Infinity.
No, it's
You'll see the spoon bend.
No, he'll see Hasselvander lying in repose beneath the House Danon flag with in front of his manor, but it's actually just flying the Danon flag everywhere.
Is he injured? Any obvious wounds or anything like that?
No obvious wounds, but there appear to be saplings starting to push up from the ground around him, like the House Danon tree.
Also, pink elephants.
Is there anyone else standing around in this this image?
No, and the day and night cycle is passing quickly, and the trees are just starting to push up more and more as the cycle continues.
Cool. All right, so for the next 3 hours, you are both sort of weaving in and out of lucidity. And then eventually, you will fall into a deep sleep. So when you sleep, it will just be on the floor of Renshu's place. There's obviously pillows and stuff like that laid out because you're not the only ones that are uber chilling. What is Atticus going to do as he sees Tansen just, I'm just going to curl up and sleep here?
It's going to be standing guard over him and wondering how the hell this is just dumb.
You will also notice that Renshu will sort of, unlike everyone else who eventually just sort of gets tired and lays down, Renshu's sort of meditating. So he's sitting there with his legs crossed, meditating. You don't know whether he's asleep or not, though.
Let's go snag him.
No, because that would leave Lord Tonson alone.
Make Tycho snag him. Okay, Tycho might pop his head off, but
All right, so those conscious characters, being Atticus and Tycho, are you going to use this opportunity to potentially snag Renshu, or shall you leave him?
Damn, I'm really tempted.
Not that you were given any orders as to what to do.
True.
well, Tycho's in that corner and he's going, yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to run off with him.
He's
He
thinking
is.
it, but he
He's
just doesn't
probably-
seem to want to say it.
He's looking at Atticus like, look, he's vulnerable.
Let's see. So, what is? Yeah, because I should probably actually finish a sentence. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. No, well, damn it. I can't just go over there and do that because that's leaving Tonson unprotected, and if we get noticed, people are going to freak out, and then they could theoretically hold him ransom, so to speak.
Just to clarify, um, there are some people that are not, out of it. So if you do something, you will get noticed, but there's very little that those few that are here could do about it, considering who you are. But there would be some that will see you try anything. And of
Well-
course, Barker is dead, so he doesn't have a bodyguard anymore.
That's true. To be fair, I think we just went to sleep. It's not like we passed out unconscious.
Yeah, you've just gone to sleep. You
So
could be,
theoretically, you could just wake us up.
but you would be in a, dreamy, like, hungover state.
Yeah, well, we could still walk.
How many guards does he have? 'Cause I don't want to
There's-
necessarily start straight up having to murder these dudes, but
There's no guards as such, but there's. Let's have the dice decide. Roll a d6 plus 1. D6 plus 1. So there'll be a d6 plus 1 lucid people. So there's 5 sort of lucid people still, mingling, partying, having a good time.
see, this is when we needed frickin' Tycho here, because although he might have drank the Kool-Aid too, because he could actually maybe talk them into leaving, with a line of bullshit about how the Lord may be in a a holy trance, and they should get clear to so as to not interfere.
You could always try that.
No, I'm not going to try that.
You just will be very bad at it. He's in a trance.
Yeah.
You should probably go as you're pulling your sword out.
No, if I did it, it would just be straight up freaking intimidation.
All right. Is
Of course,
Atticus
it's gonna
going
be
to let the
bad.
opportunity pass and await instruction, or you're going to take it upon yourself to do something?
If it is possible to sneak dude out at any point, then he's definitely gonna grab Tycho and take that opportunity.
Well, like I said, there are followers around, so you won't be able to just like pick him up and walk him out without people seeing. And there's a good chance that he will, whatever meditative trance he's in, he will, wake from that. He'll be obviously groggy and a bit out of it.
Maybe that depends on whether Tycho sneaks up behind him with his crazy high stealth and jabs him with the go to sleep juice.
Well, yeah, go to sleep juice would knock him out.
Yeah. But yeah, if we can get away with that, then I think we might do that.
Well, like I said, you could get away with it. There's little any of these people could do to stop you, but it will be noticed. And there will be obviously some resistance, which might involve violence. Maybe they will throw themselves at you to try and stop you from taking away their profit. So your choice.
I think he's not going to do it simply because he realizes that he would have to, by necessity, leave Tonson here, and that would
Can wake us up.
endanger. Yeah, but you guys are going to be stoned. That means you're, barely conscious.
But we can move. You don't have to leave anybody here. We can go. We're not going to be useful, but we can go.
Well, if can wake him up, then gonna probably try.
So that would be the first order of business. Kick.
Wake up now.
All right. Give me those people that are waking up. Give me a perception roll. I think you have +2 for combat reflexes.
I think it's more than that. It's like +6 or something, but
I'm going to say if you critically fail this roll, then
comatose.
you'll wake up, but you'll be in like a hallucinatory state where whoever's waking you up is going to be like a beast attacking you or something like that, like a fever dream.
What? I'm up.
Is Tance going to be woken? You're going to leave him.
I'm trying to wake everybody up, or both of them up.
All right, so I'll need a perception roll from Tansen.
Wake up. We have a chance. We can get the dude and leave.
Yeah, all right, coming.
I'm going to go over to Renshu and attempt to abduct him.
Probably have to stealth over there and jab him with the go to sleep juice.
Tycho probably use the waking up as a bit of a distraction, so he can get in there and apply the juice.
Basics, it actually has some stuff on incapacitation and hallucination and stuff like that.
Yes.
Do you want to have a look at that
Yeah.
and see how your characters are actually mechanically affected?
Yeah, let me see there. I know what that is.
So you will walk, the trio of you guys will walk over to Renshu, and those lucid followers that are in the room will see this and immediately realize that it's a little bit suspicious what you're doing. And one of them will say, "What are you doing?"
What? Oh man, my first instinct is like, what was always going to happen.
It would work well given the context.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's probably what I'm going to do. What was always going to happen.
So I guess everyone that has been woken will need to make a will roll.
Yeah, that's probably the most reasonable thing to do. So since we're not in combat, the 2d seconds is probably not going to matter, but the -2 on success rolls will. In which case, at the question, Valteri, who is still sort of fighting off the effects, will say, if he is truly the Mahdi, he will return.
Right, so you go to pick him up, and Renshu will then wake from his meditation / sleep,
juice.
and he'll go, huh? And then you going to inject him?
Yeah.
Okay, so you inject him with the sleep juice. I imagine it takes a couple of seconds to come into effect. At which point, these people in the room begin to shout and scream in alarm to what you're doing. Two of the people in here move towards you guys, and while they're not attacking you, they're grabbing hold of Renshu and trying to.
As they're approaching, I'm definitely giving them the fearsome stare with the "be very careful what you're about to do."
Okay, give me an intimidation roll.
Okay, so I'm gonna presume that he gets the +4 with the displays of strength or quote bloodthirstiness based on the fight earlier.
I don't know if you get the full +4. If you,
Well, everybody knows what he's capable of.
they know what you're capable of, but unless you're like, holding a weapon in hand or something like that.
Well, his hand is definitely going to be going to the blade, to the blade if they start, advancing over there with the implied threat.
Okay. We'll say you get +3 if you draw a weapon and tell them that you're going to kill them, then you'll get the full +4. All right, so they will move to, grab hold of Renshu and try and stop you from taking him away. You stand in the way. They stop. You'll see their gaze goes from eye contact with you down to your hand, which is hovering over your blade, and they will stop and they say, "You can't do this. This is wrong." And the shouts of these followers, echo outside as someone has gone out and raised the alarm to others.
Yeah, he's not going to respond to him. He's just giving him the, walk the hell away expression or look.
They will keep their distance from you, but they're still there, and they're shouting, "You can't do this. You can't take him." he's the Mahdi. His place is here, and all sorts of stuff. It seems to be something of a traumatic thing for these guys. They're quite alarmed that you're doing this, and they'll even resort to things like, "You were treated as friends. How can you dishonor him like this?"
We do not come to dishonor him, but rather ensure that he can honor his duties. If he is the Muad'Dib, as you say, then he will return and likely will bring more with him and be able to do more for you than he can currently. We do not seek to harm him, but we do seek to make sure that he upholds that which he is bound to.
Okay, so Renshu is conscious for a moment, and his last words before the drugs take control and knock him out, he goes, "No, no," and then he becomes a dead weight.
Tycho can carry him.
He's used to
Tycho
it.
says, "I'm just looking out for people. I'll stand over here. Keep an eye out." So who's going to carry?
So he's going to have Tycho carry him.
Tycho's AFK.
Well, there's only one of us that's going to be strong enough to carry him.
Well, a couple of you could work together.
I will heft him up over one shoulder, but not my weapon or not my sword arm shoulder. Actually, that doesn't matter, does it? Hold on.
I suppose it doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. I do have offhand. So yeah, he's gonna heft him over one shoulder. If anybody advances towards us, that's gonna be bad because, hey, I've got the dude over my shoulder.
All right, so you're fairly strong. That's going to put you in heavy.
But we're not moving fast.
Actually, it occurs to me that we should get on the comms and order the other security guys that we brought with us to bring the wait, are any of them pilots?
Let's have the universe decide.
Daniel,
On a good roll, there's a competent pilot.
Sense.
On a neutral, there's someone that can fly, but they're still on their L plates. All right, so there is someone that can fly, but he's still learning.
Well, it doesn't have to be pretty. Just needs to bring it here.
All right, I'll get one of you guys to make the roll.
Ethan.
Yeah.
Make a roll. Just roll 3d6.
Okay, I was wondering what skill.
He's gonna totally roll an 18 here. I just know it.
I saw that 5 and 6, and I thought,
I know. I was
a
like,
team.
oh crap, here it comes.
And if this guy's just learning, then
Yeah,
it's probably a fail by a little.
Maybe
it won't be a fail by more than the stability, but it'll be a fail.
So he'll bounce it when it comes in. Because he's going to get the +4 for regular, whatever routine. Because it's just like, take it up, fly it a little bit, land it.
All right, so he will take it up. Let's have the universe decide how much room is in the compound for him to land. This will feature as the penalty to safely land in the compound.
I guess that's my turn now.
Yeah, I guess it's your turn.
cold and
Eh.
indifferent.
It'll fit.
It'll be a tight fit. So,
He's
Give
gonna
me-
knock some stuff over.
give me a another roll.
Your turn, Daniel.
Sorry.
All right, yeah. Go!
Yes.
That's a reaction. That's very good.
That was supposed to be the piloting roll.
You didn't say that. He already made the piloting roll.
To take off. Let me see if Wipeouts gives him a second chance.
So much for instilling a sense of awe.
I seem to recall that you get a second chance, or it's a complete wipeout.
Well, if that's an actual skill roll, then that's a crit.
A crit fail.
Yeah.
Rolls. All right, so the pilot. You guys will hear the Thopter in the distance start up. You're carrying Renshu out into the courtyard of the compound, and the shouts of alarm have alerted some people, and there's a bunch of people that are beginning to gather, and they have like improvised weapons. You know, there'll be someone with a knife or something to that effect. Others have, you know, sticks and you know, picks or pitchforks and that sort of stuff. And
What are
they'll
they doing
shout
with
out,
pitchforks?
"What's that?"
The hell are they shoveling with pitchforks?
His message.
Sand?
Yeah, the bullshit.
They're combing the desert. I don't know. There's just pitchforks standing around. No one's used
Just in
them.
case.
They're just
Just in
It's
case I
desert
needed an
pitchforks.
uprising.
So they will shout out, "Put down the Mahdi."
And I'm totally
In the
gonna
distance,
look at him.
you'll hear the echoes of the Thopter beginnings. So start up.
Daniel's gonna get this reference. And they say that, I'm gonna look at him and go, no.
How often do you need to roll your hallucinations?
Well, you can just assume that we're still under the effects. I don't think it had a timetable listed.
All right, make another will roll
Oh god.
to see if the stressful situation triggers a freak out.
So you're crit hunting.
I'm crit hunting, yeah.
Well, considering that Tonson and Valteri are like not really, the diplomancers are not really available. That means it's going to fall to Atticus, and he's just going to tell them the people quite simply that if you move against me, I'm going to have to kill you all.
Well, Tonson is only at a -2 to do anything, so he's still got a 17 or something, and
Dude, wake up over there.
he
Start
spoke.
talking.
He just didn't get to roll or anything.
Hanson will need to make a will roll. That's will, not perception, but I assume that your will is still good.
Yeah, will and perception, they're both equal. I thought
Alright, so that's a
saved them during
success.
Will.
Alright, so you don't have a freak out with all the movement of people, flashes of light and torches and pitchforks and all that sort of stuff doesn't trigger a freak out. You're able to hold it together, but things are weird. It's like all the voices and stuff you hear, there's like an echo. They sound distant and you're stoned.
Totally wondering when Atticus got that extra reverb on his when he speaks.
Now, Tansen stands there and gives a rousing speech about duty and all that, but he's given it to the wrong crowd.
Well, sometimes you just gotta fall back on what you know. Yeah. You feel? Yeah.
All right, so the crowd begin to close in on you guys. There is a potential for violence unless the situation is de-escalated or whatnot.
Well, you guys better de-escalate it, or I'm going to de-escalate it.
Tonson, de-escalate.
Well,
I think any influence rolls versus a group is at -5.
No, that's intimidation. I don't think. Let me see.
would I be able to, if does end up applying for the same as the influence roles, would I be able to do public speaking to try to mitigate that, or would that take the place of?
You could try public speaking, but you would have to, you'd have to give me an angle that you're working on.
Oh boy.
Back to fuck up, or Atticus is going to cut his throat. Oh wait, no, that's my angle. Never mind.
It would probably be something along the lines of we're doing our duty just the same as we're bringing back Muad'Dib in order to fulfill his.
Not Muad'Dib.
Well, he's
The Mahdi. That's different.
Oh, that is,
Muad'Dib
okay.
is that's Paul.
Yeah.
He hasn't become Muad'Dib yet.
Yeah. No, I just thought it was the same and just okay. Yes, we're yep. Control F, find Muad'Dib, replace with Mahdi. And so we will accomplish our duty, and we do not wish for any harm to come to anyone, which includes the Mahdi. Please let us be on our way, and all shall be well, and the Mahdi shall return when he can, I am sure.
Could use public speaking or leadership.
Oh, I missed part of that. The fast talk was the first one.
So can you use fast talk? Or you wanted to use
that's-
public speaking? So you wish to try and calm the angry mob.
Yes.
All right. Are there any penalties or modifiers
I'll
to
put
this
that.
roll?
It's looking at the average will. What's the size of the crowd roughly?
We'll say like a dozen people.
Oh, that's not that bad. So
I can
let
take
me
them.
see.
But there are more that sort of turn up, or
I can take
there will
them
be
too.
more. You could quite easily take these people. They're non-combatants, so it'd be like it'd be a slaughter.
Let's try to avoid that.
Okay. There are some modifiers, but I don't think they're gonna get anything. But that would apply to the average will of the crowd.
So the average will is 10.
And it is a quick contest.
Okay. Oh,
Wow.
Holy crap.
all right.
Wow, they found the new Mahdi.
Yeah, what you're saying makes sense. We're totally on board with that.
Yeah, we should ditch the old Mahdi and pick you up as the new one. And you're like, wait, what? So we get back and we tell his grandmother, it's like, well, good news and bad news.
Here's your son.
No,
Tense.
good news. We brought the dude back for his from the cult. Bad news, Tenson stayed. Now he's in charge of the cult.
All right, so with a roll like that, they are thoroughly convinced that this is the way.
This is the way. Now
So
they're
say
gonna all
we all.
don helmets and never take them off because this is the way.
Okay, so the people will back off. You manage to de-escalate the situation. The mob are still not happy with what's going on, but they feel that fighting over it right now is not the right course of action. Then the Thopter approaches. It hovers overhead and begins to kick up sand and dust everywhere. And you can see that the pilot, it is going to be a tight squeeze to get the Thopter to land here. You can see that the pilot is a little bit uneasy. Atticus would be quite aware that the guy is overcorrecting on his descent and he's doing all these things wrong.
I'm gonna yell at him later. Go, why did you do it that way? You know better than that.
And still reading that. So,
These things have a really wide wingspan. Kind of hard to fit them in anywhere.
It's gonna blow over all of their little tent things and stuff.
okay, so when he brings down the Thopter, tents and awnings and stuff like that go flying. And you will see that at least you guys on the ground will see that there's going to be a collision. The wings are going to, hit one of the buildings as it comes down, and it does. So one of the wings first clips a little bit, and then there's like loud bangs as it starts ripping through these sandstone walls, and shrapnel begins to fly everywhere. The Thopter comes down really hard, and the other wings on the other side sort of begin to beat the ground. At which point the pilot has emergency shutdown, and everything comes to a halt fairly quickly. But there will be shrapnel flying around from bits of wall and stuff, and we'll handle that as a random shrapnel roll. So you can roll, let's say D12. This will be the distance in yards that you are from the thing. We'll go with the first roll. So you're 10 yards. Shrapnel is 15 minus the range
Roll's
penalty.
gonna be 11.
So 11. So everyone can roll just 3d6. You want to roll over 11.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Because I'm that awesome.
And I think it's -3 for random. Is the not -3? I think the recoil is 3.
Yeah.
So 3 bits of shrapnel will hit Valtieri, and 1 bit of shrapnel will hit Tansen.
This is going to be incidental, so it's what is the damage?
I think it's
gonna
1d -4 cutting. I'm just
something like
checking.
that, which that's not going to get through any armor we're wearing.
Those people that were hit, roll random hit locations.
Mm-hmm.
I.
Re-rolls for Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
See? Did you learn something here? Don't do drugs.
Does your DR protect the hand?
Nope.
Alright, so your hand
It's taken off.
Will-
You lost it.
get hit.
Wasn't that much.
So a splinter of what would most likely be probably wood. Actually, no, be a rock sliver or something like that. Has buried itself into the back of your hand, and blood begins to sort of run down from this bit of rock that's still stuck in your hand. Blood begins to drip off your fingers, mixing with the sand.
Short of a cripple, so. And I do have I have a med kit, which is probably on the Thopter. Actually, no, we just came back from the marketplace. I would have had it there.
I just remembered something. Oh no, Tycho took some shrapnel.
Roll random hit.
That's harsh.
Oh,
Yeah, but that's not going to get through his armor.
Oh, this one did. Sorry, he died. It was most tragic. It was meant to be because he wasn't here. 'cause
Actually,
he's
there's a
black.
set. He got hit by 2 bits of shrapnel, so there'll be a second roll.
I was totally hoping for an eye.
That would be cool. Tycho
that
has
thought did
to
cross my mind.
wear a patch. He becomes
Hmm.
wow. I've completely mental blanked on
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well.
All right. So
get in here and get
Valtteri,
outta
you
here.
pull this rock fragment from the back of your hand,
Deal with it on the Thopter.
and then
Shove him towards the
spray
rock.
some stuff.
And I sober up.
Yes, it is somewhat sobering. Okay, Atticus. Did you want to check the Thopter over to make sure it still flies? Or is safe to fly?
Yeah, probably. Probably need to after that crappy ass landing. What is that going to be?
That will be your pilot. It'll be a perception-based pilot, I think.
We're in on, so
That's going to be one higher. Okay, I can do that.
we're in on, so we only have to go like 50 kilometers.
Yeah. It's fine.
All right, can someone roll 3d6 in the box? This will be a health roll for your... Is there going to be a fault that you didn't detect?
Yep. So that's how the session's going to end with the doctor going down in the deep desert.
Uh-huh.
Totally.
Don't ask how we got out in the deep desert.
Controls were busted. You know, I'm trying to make it go left, and it's just going that away.
That would be a cool sidetrack. Go down in the deep desert, try and avoid the worms. Okay, so you will load up everyone into the Thopter. The house guard, which was flying, is hugely apologetic. Is saying, "I'm sorry, my lord. I didn't see the building. I thought there was enough room."
We'll talk about
crap
this
out
later.
of the way.
And he realizes that he's screwed up real bad.
Okay, right. So get the hell out of here
All right,
before these guys change their mind.
give me a pilot roll, please.
What's the handling on this thing?
It's probably going to be a +1.
You get handling on startup?
Well, if not,
Well, it's not
Yeah.
just startup. Wow.
Yeah, when
All
it's
right.
minus
dex related, I'm great with it.
minus whatever penalties are associated with the damage it's taken.
Oh, they're not going to be that many penalties.
I certainly hope not.
All right, so
I
you'll
think he
begin
would've
to
noticed.
take off, and you will feel that there is certainly something not right. Things are out of balance. There's some vibrations that you are not happy with, but you
Neil,
will.
you broke it.
You
No,
will.
just
Sorry.
occurs to me how bad it would be on a machine like that if you had a timing problem in the wings.
It could get very messy. So you will begin to take off. There'll be some vibration, but you're able to compensate and keep this thing in the air. I think it was only a short trip, like a 15-minute trip or whatever,
Yeah.
back to Arakeen.
Yep.
And as much as I'd like you to crash in the desert, you succeeded the health roll, so there's nothing major wrong with the Thopter.
Was that the primary buffer panel?
The
It does
primary
seem to be
buffer
so.
panel just flew off.
We'll experience some slight turbulence and then explode.
So you will arrive back at Arakeen.
And then I'm going to ask Valtiri in a very snide way. No, not snide. That's not the right thing for Atticus. In a very cold way, which is also going to be angled at Tansen, but he can't chew out Tansen about what the hell he was thinking about drinking that stuff.
Good, made him feel good.
I'm trying to think of a response to that.
And it feels like another cup of coffee right now. Okay. So you will take this guy back to your place. You have some options. I remember there was Fortuna, the Bene Gesserit agent.
Well, the plan was to take him home and let Fortuna know when and where to expect him so she could contact the Bene Gesserit.
They better not jump us.
That would be awkward. And I'm going to guess we should probably get to it ASAP.
Yes. Keep this dude sedated.
Agreed.
Yes, someone can roll pharmacy or first aid or
That's
physician.
going to come down to me, I think.
You want to keep
And
him
I
sedated but
don't
not
have-
overdose him.
Yeah, I didn't think I had physician. Well, yeah.
while you study
Well, to be fair, if we're at the villa, we probably have personnel here.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you have a house physician, like a minor physician, not your chief physician.
Lowercase p.
And your instructions are to keep Renshu sedated. And that's exactly what the physician will do.
So when's the next Highliner out of here?
I imagine Arrakis is a fairly busy place, so there'll be Highliners coming daily. So, do you tell the Bene Gesserit?
That is a question for my lord.
And that is a question being pondered.
The deal was, you would get favors from the Bene Gesserit if you gave them information on Renshu and his cult, you would get a favor. If you actually turned him over to the Bene Gesserit so that they could do whatever they want to do with him, then you would get lots of favors. So you're considering something in between. So you'll get some favors, but not all the favors.
Right.
Unless you want another option, or come up with another option. Before then.
Currently leaning a bit towards just giving them the information and giving Renshu back to his house just to ensure that we hold to the agreement that was made with his house rather than risking that with only or by bringing to the Bene Gesserit and them potentially never giving him back.
And hey, if they want a perfectly good cult, there's one right over there.
I only used a little bit.
Yep.
All right, so you're going to just give them the information. So intel, you're not going to hand over or tell them where the handover is supposed to happen so they can intervene.
Unless anyone's of a different mind and wishes to convince me otherwise, I think that's my plan.
No, I think that was the best we could come up with.
And the favor would actually be like the proper favor, patron favor. Which could be potentially useful for your spy type. Yes.
Or you could get them to arrange it so you can marry what's her name. I
Would they
totally
even
won't
be able
pull
to
a
do that?
Lancelot.
Of course they can do that. They've been manipulating bloodlines for generations.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not... I don't know what their wheelhouse actually is.
Nobody knows what their wheelhouse actually is. They like it that way.
All right, so we shove him on the next Highliner, take him home, leave Fortuna a note saying we're leaving and taking him home.
And here's a
that's where
pile
it'll
of
be.
information about the cults. Yep.
Okay. All right. So you can add a group favor to the Bene Gesserit. That won't be any points or anything like that. So once it's used, it's used.
For the record, Valtteri will not be including any of his own visions.
Why not? You could be the Mahdi.
Well,
That's probably
It
something the
occurs to,
Bene Gesserit would really like to know about.
it occurs to the player, if not the character, that regardless of which path Renshu takes, it will end in death. He either goes and takes the water of life and dies, or he gets the Gom Jabbar and dies.
How do you know he's not human, though? He could survive the Gom Jabbar.
All right, so you will return to Arrakis with Renshu in tow. I'm going to assume that once you're on the High Liner and there's no way for him to sort of escape, then you're not going to keep him sedated. You'll just stick him in a room and keep the door locked or something like that.
Yeah, it's not like you can run from there. Well, Valtteri is going to spend some time talking to Renshu about his visions, sort of cataloging what he saw, comparing it with what Valtteri saw, compiling.
So you're going to talk with Renshu.
Mm-hmm.
Give
Is
me
that-
a
you're smart.
reaction
Is
roll.
is that a good idea? Because if the Bene Gesserit start poking around and they ask him questions, no, never mind. Do it.
So I'll need a reaction roll to see how accommodating he is. You can do an influence roll, or just a straight up reaction.
Well, let's see.
You can always throw me under the bus as the guy responsible for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I suppose if I were going to make a roll, it would probably be diplomacy, and the chances are not that great, but I
You
could
can't
potentially tempt him with curiosity, if nothing else.
I saw a
Your
cop
chances are
dice
not
there.
great.
Yeah, I know.
You got a freaking 13. That's pretty good.
Well, the
Chan-
concern
chances
wasn't
are not
failure
chan-
necessarily.
when you say my chances are not great, I'm thinking you've got an 11 or a 10.
All right. So what's your angle in using diplomacy here?
Well, like I said, I'm gonna approach him and tell him I'm interested in the details of his visions compared to mine, whether and just kind of just comparing notes, talking about logic and what it all means, philosophy stuff. He's being philosophical.
All right. Well, Renshu, he
Forgot to
will
share the
be
Rinshu, man.
accommodating.
Perhaps you will convince me.
He will be accommodating. He'll chat with you. He seems to get over the fact that you guys kidnapped him fairly quickly, and he's resigned himself to this is his destiny. This is just part of his what the universe wants for him, and eventually he'll find himself back on Arrakis, leading the people to freedom. And this is just how it happens. So he will discuss. He will preach to you and try and convert you to the cause. Is Valtteri amenable to that?
Valtteri is a cynic.
So yeah, he's going to drink all the Kool-Aid.
So, despite how much he attempts to preach the word of the Mahdi, Valtteri, you take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, it's information. It's intelligence. It's not necessarily truth with a capital T.
You would also...
Hey, Brian, you forgot to share the Rinshu image.
Dope.
There you go. So you will, using your logic and stuff, you will see that Rinshu knows some things that don't add up as being made up. There seems to be some lowercase truth in what he's talking about. And I guess prescience is not entirely unknown. I guess, you guys know that prescience is an actual thing. It's how the Spacing
Right.
Guild operates. So there could be some truth to his ability. He might be seeing actual glimpses of future, whether it's his future or not.
I'm actually
some-
not sure if that's accurate about knowing how the Spacing Guild functions.
But some of it is clearly allegorical. I mean, I saw the Fremen riding on worms. That makes no sense at all.
True. And I guess there wouldn't be any books or anything that document Fremen riding on worms. So your character can make of that what he will.
It's allegorical, like he said.
Okay. All right, so you will arrive back at Castle Dannon. I have to cheer somewhere. Should also check. That is a very cool banner. And you will turn over Rinshu to his mother, who seems quite upset at her son's performance. I'm assuming that you fill them in on what exactly happened, that he wasn't actually caught up in the cult, he was leading it, and all that sort of stuff. Or do you
I
withhold
figure if we-
that information?
I figure we'd share everything.
Okay, so there will be some disappointment from his mother, and you'll see she will, verbally chastise him over his actions, how they endanger the house and all those sort of things. While you are in the hall where you're doing the handover, there is a knock on the door, and Lady Gwendolyn will call whoever it is, and it will be, let's see, most likely it will be Ori. Ori will enter. He will walk up to Lady Gwendolyn. You can see that there is a degree of concern in his look. So he will turn up to go to talk to Lady Gwendolyn, sort of whisper so no one can hear, and then he will say, he will leave, and Lady Gwendolyn will stand, and she will say, we must leave now. Lady Mascara, Renshu, please remain here. So you guys will all leave. You will step out of the main hall that you're in, and you will start walking down the hall, and you will see down the hall a group of Bene Gesserit sisters.
Ack!
And
Ack,
Atticus
ack.
dives into the nearest trash can. It's like a whole flock of them.
Lady Gwendolyn will walk ahead to sort of intercept the Bene Gesserit before they get to you. Does anyone go with her, or do you hold back?
I very much want us to hold back.
That would be up to Townsend.
Does he have curious?
I'm 95% sure that's a go-to for me. Curious, impulsive, and overconfidence. I think that's
You need
a
to
yes.
be more impulsive.
Yeah, I need to stop taking impulsive. I'm bad at impulsive.
All right, so I'm going to assume that that's a yes for Tansen moving up.
They're here for Valtteri because he might be the Mahdi.
I don't think he is.
He might be.
All right, so Tansen, you will follow your grandmother. She looks at you and she gives you that this is not your business sort of look, but then resigns and says, I guess you're going to leave the house one day. You should learn how to deal with the Bene Gesserit.
My thoughts exactly.
That seems like a terrible idea to me.
Then the lead Bene Gesserit mother says, "Get out of here!" And Tunson runs away.
So the pair of you go up to the sisters. One of the sisters steps forward and says, "We are here to meet with Lady Mascaro and her son, Renshu. Our business is with them, not House Dannon." To which Lady Gwendolyn says, "You are in my house. You should follow my rules." And then she continues to say, "I do not approve of your presence here. You were not invited. You should leave." And then the Bene Gesserit sister says, "It would not be wise to obstruct the sisterhood. You know how we have brought fortune to your household in the past. That fortune can be reversed." And Lady Gwendolyn says, "What is it you want with them?" She says, "We have questions. Nothing more." Is Tansen going to intervene at all?
Not currently, no.
And Lady Gwendolyn continues, "This is very improper. Lady Mascaro and Renshu are guests in my house. The sister then says, "Still, we need to speak with them right away. Lady Mascaro is a sister herself. She will understand. You should stand aside."
Lady Gwendolyn seems to be assuming they're up to no good. Why is that?
Because they're probably up to no good. This is
They
when
did just start
Tansen
making
should,
trouble in the neighborhood.
you should jump in and, try to settle things down, calm them down, make everybody like you.
So the back and forth goes on for a little bit. Gwendolyn seems to be standing her ground, and the Bene Gesserit seem to be getting frustrated and annoyed, and they will issue veiled threats. They want audience right now. Is Tansen going to do anything to try and de-escalate? Is he going to step up or just let stuff unfold?
He definitely want to intervene. The player is just having trouble coming up with the best phrasing. I can certainly understand your desire to speak with them immediately. However, as they are our guests, there are certain steps we have to take in order to ensure our responsibility of hospitality to them is provided for and well kept. And so it might not be best to do so immediately while everyone's blood is running hot. Why don't we adjourn for some time and we can speak of this again and sort through exactly how we wish to proceed sometime in the near future.
You're not
The
going anywhere.
Bene Gesserit's sister will eye Tansen for a bit, like, who is this person that speaks to me? Gives you that look, and give me a roll on whatever skill you wish to use here. All right, give me a reaction roll as well.
I'm gonna luck that. Reactions can be lucked, right?
Any roll could be lucked.
Okay, then yes, I luck it.
Before you use your luck, well, not that it's necessary to keep your luck, but this is her initial reaction to you. Diplomacy will override your luck. Your reaction roll. So you have a good reaction already.
Okay,
But
then
I will, if you get a better than good reaction, then I'll use your initial reaction instead of your diplomacy.
No, I'll hold off then.
All right, so you will present a convincing argument. And the Bene Gesserit says, then we need lodgings. I assume you can arrange for that. We would like to stay here. And Bene Gesserit turns to Lady Gwendolyn, and she'll nod. I'll make arrangements for it. And with that, the Bene Gesserit will turn and head back down the hall.
How many of them were there?
So there was the one speaking, and then there was the three others. So they will head back down the hall, and your grandmother will say,
Damn witches.
"Damn witches."
She should have said witches leave.
The younger one was kind of cute.
At which point, you guys will eventually go back to the hall, and Lady Gwendolyn will say that the Bene Gesserit are here and wish to speak with yourself and Renshu. At least for now, they have been stayed. And unless you guys plan anything further, that is where we leave it.
No shenanigans from me.
Yeah, the only shenanigans we have is, we're going to have to be the ones that carry the body out after he fails the Gamjabar.
Mm-hmm. Or Tycho takes him to the cliffside.
All right,
No,
so
that
if
was
there's
how
no
funny that.
shenanigans from you guys, then you will see the Bene Gesserit will leave with
Witches leave.
Lady Mascaro and Renshu in tow. You can see that they don't seem to be, or at least Lady Mascaro does not seem to be all too pleased with this.
Well, she should have raised her son better.
So they will actually leave Caladan. They jump on the next highlight. And we'll
And that's the
depart.
last we ever see of him.
And that's where we'll leave it.
It's a big universe. Yay. Well,
So everyone will get 2 points.
doing the 2 or the 3?
Oh, end of the adventure. So you get 3.
It was a short one. Well, we'll have to come back to this eventually.
You guys actually fight with the Atreides for Arrakis, and then find yourselves, I don't know. You
Yeah.
submit to the will of the Harkonnen.
Yeah, the only way I can see it working out is we escape the carnage and end up working with the smugglers or whatever.
Well, we've got some connections with the smugglers.
Indeed.
Or you could just submit to the will of the Harkonnens and become
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
vassals to them.
Pachoo.
Work with Hasselvander? Nah.
Yeah, he would gladly make it difficult for you guys.
Well, the Harkonnens aren't too. I imagine, just based on their general operations, aren't too upset about squabbles between minor houses. So I'm sure we could resolve that situation.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't care a great deal. Actually, it would put your house in a little bit of a difficult predicament because the Atreides no longer control Caladan, so you would be under Count Fenring
Well, that's if we stayed here.
or Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah. That's true. Even yeah, because they're only really wiping out the Atreides. They're not necessarily wiping out all their vassals.
Yeah, they only have Canley with the Atreides.
Yeah.
I guess it would be you bend the knee to us, or you follow your Atreides masters into oblivion.
So we go join the smugglers and the house is no more.
Until Paul says, how about that jihad, though? And
Well, the house would still exist because Gwendolyn doesn't want to go to Arrakis. She's staying
That's
put.
true. That's true. She could just claim that Tonson was off on his own doing shenanigans and she had nothing to do with it.
He's off on a damn fool idealistic crusade.
Exactly.
But yeah, we can play that out when the time comes.
I think we're all gonna die.
quite probably.
I don't know. Atticus has a pretty good survival rate.
Possibly.
Yeah, and so did Duncan, Idaho. We saw how that ended.
Well, he wanted to take on 19 Sardaukar.
I don't know if "wanted to" is the proper word.
Well, I mean, he gladly took on 19 Sardaukar. It was just the 20th one that gave him trouble.
All right. Well, I guess next week will be whatever,
A
One
one
of the
shot
two.
of something.
or session 0, depending.
We could do a one shot of Shadowrun using previous characters.
Probably be the easiest.
Because we have lots of spare characters, so we can invite the Padre to that one. Actually, there's another person that I've been speaking to that's been interested in playing a game, so I might invite that one for the one shot as well.
All right.
So any bookkeeping before we wrap it up?
I'm going to spend 2 of my points to put 1 extra point in mechanic ornithopters, so I have double digits, and then 2 and then have a point in piloting ornithopters. So
What happens to the house guard that
he's
crashed?
going through remedial mechanicking and piloting again and again and again. Plus, he's going to get I think it's not going to be something that Atticus is going to give him, but the other guards are going to give him the call sign of crash.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he's going to need a character sheet.
Because he's got a name.
He's got a name now, so he needs a character sheet.
He goes into the sim until he gets it right.
And then does it again. Has to do it again every day for the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I should note that. All right, Crash. Who should we cast as Crash?
And then when the Harkonnens invade, he's the most shit-hot pilot out there.
Oh, for Crash, Battlestar Galactica Crashdown. Name's already there.
Right. What the hell was his name? It's the guy who does Darth Maul's voice on Clone Wars.
He has a very
Sam Witwer.
Possibly. All I know is he has a very iconic chin.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sam Witwer. Crashdown, yeah.
All right, so Crashdown or Crash is his call sign.
It's called
In here,
going to
it's
be Crash.
Yeah, it'll be Crash here. It's just that was his Galactica call sign.
Yeah, so he might become the... Because you've put him through pilot training over and over and over again, he just becomes, like, awesome.
Right. No, I'm not terrible. I think I now have a 15 in it. 16 with the handling. More importantly, I have a 10 in mechanic now. Yay!
You might actually be able to find stuff that's wrong.
Maybe.
Well, actually, you got a fairly good chance of that because doing your routine checks would be at +4.
Right.
Oh, you bumped your perception too, didn't you?
No, I haven't bumped that yet. I have an 11 perception, yes, but I haven't bumped it higher like I would like to.
So
because I keep finding other things I want to spend points on.
your mechanic is at +1?
Is it?
So your relative skill for mechanic is +1?
Hold on, let me look again. No, it's +0.
Okay, so you'd be rolling a 15 to do an inspection. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, I put a note down that have Volteri pick up philosophy Zen Sunni.
Is it 15?
Well, it'd be relative skill. It's a perception-based mechanics roll.
Okay.
So that would be 11
right.
plus 4 because
Okay.
it's
then plus
routine.
4. Gotcha.
Assuming it's routine.
All right. Well, we'll finish it here. So if you are watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Bye.
Nope.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, stream.